Say, you smell kind of pretty. Wanna smell me?
Has a builder ever called you sexy as you walk down the street? Or has a random person shouted, "All right, fitty," from a car window as they drove past? Congratulations if so. This means you're a woman. Probably. The End Violence Against Women Coalition found that 85% of women aged 18 to 24 have been sexually harassed in public. Grim. But why aren't there laws to protect women from this? Welcome back to Bluntly Put. Catcalling is hardly a new phenomenon, and from what I can gather, most women around my age have memories of being shouted at on the street from a pretty young age. In fact, I distinctly remember walking my dog at around the age of 13 when a group of construction workers decided that it would be a good time to call me beautiful and ask if I wanted to give them a hand. Yeah, it's gross. Whether we're being told to smile, being groped in clubs or being lectured on whilst on our way to the offie, it's happening. And it seems that nothing is being done about it. But this doesn't necessarily mean people aren't talking about it. Catcalling has been a point of contention for a while now, as people argue over whether it is a serious enough threat to need legal action. A lot of this narrative also seems to stem from the idea that it's a compliment when someone shouts, "Hey sexy" at you in public. I'm not sure myself, but okay. Okay, so I understand that you might believe that not every instance of harassment or catcalling warrants repercussion for the offender, and that there are much more damaging acts of sexual violence occurring, which should be the focus of the authorities. But does that mean that nothing at all should be done? Whilst yes, being shouted at on the street doesn't leave a woman physically damaged, that doesn't mean that there's no damage at all. To get a view on how catcalling makes us feel, here are some quotes from real women with real experiences. Once on my way to a festival, my friend and me had stopped at a service station. We weren't particularly dressed up, had on like dungarees, etc. On the way in, a guy leered in front of us and went, "I want to see your cum face." At first we were both shocked and didn't believe that he'd actually said it, but then I was annoyed and disgusted. Like many other women, I've been catcalled far many more times than I wish I had, whether it's by a sleazy group of assholes whilst walking somewhere at night, or by a van driver yelling something out whilst driving past me. But I think the weirdest time was when I was walking down the street with my boyfriend and a guy we walked past whistled at me. That was some kind of next level pseudo self-confidence I had never encountered before. I never normally wear tight clothing or dresses, but in second year I dressed up for a night out once in a mid-length tight skirt and tight top. I had to walk to the bus stop and wait for the bus by myself, which I'm fine to do as I'm quite confident. However, one car honked as it passed me, and a man walking by gave me the eye and shouted "sexy" at me really loudly. It was proper jilting and threatening when you're alone, and made me feel extremely anxious for the rest of the night. On my walk to work from the tube, a man leaned into me and licked his lips. It made me feel both disgusting and unsafe. All I wanted to do was tell him to go fuck himself, but he smelt of alcohol and I was scared he might hurt me. What stands clear from all these testimonies is that this is a very common and everyday experience for women, and that they can't understand it. More than one of these women mentioned what they were wearing, as if to remind people that this happens, even when we aren't being provocative.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
But maybe it's the everyday nature of these harassing events that is holding the authorities back from prosecuting them. Unfortunately, it seems that women, no matter how much they might hate being catcalled, have learned to live with it. So rather than calling the police, they're discussing amongst themselves on how best to handle it. Do we shout back? Shall we add each other on Find My Friends? Are some routes home safer than others? I'm not arguing that catcalling should be the government's top priority, but I do think it should be something they take into consideration. With the current situation, women are feeling scared and threatened on the daily, and nothing is being done. Surely we can do better than this.